Hello students, today we'll discuss about applications of adsorption. Okay, mm, there are very wide range of applications are there for adsorption. Let us discuss one by one. First one, gas masks. Gas masks. Gas masks. These masks are used by traffic polices and industrial workers. These masks based on adsorption phenomena. How these works on adsorption we will see. Here, animal charcoal. Activated charcoal. Activated charcoal. Activated charcoal adsorbs poisonous and toxic gases from air. Let us assume activated charcoal. When these are O2, N2 gas usually present in air. Sometimes air may contain gases like SO2, Cl2, CH4, etc. See, these gases are poisonous and toxic. These are non-poisonous gases. See, these are easily liquefiable gases. We know easily liquefiable gases are easily adsorbed over adsorbent surface than other gases. That's why when these gases are passed over charcoal, in preference to these gases adsorbed over the charcoal surface. Therefore, these gases are not adsorbed and passed through the mask. Therefore, these only available for breathing us. Therefore, these are stopped by charcoal. Therefore, now air is free from these toxic gases. Therefore, we are able to breathe only these. So here adsorption phenomena, especially competitive adsorption phenomena is involved here. See, these gases adsorbed in preference to N2 and O2. If any N2, O2 adsorbed over charcoal surface, those N2, O2 can be replaced by SO2, Cl2, CH4. Therefore, here competitive adsorption phenomena involved. In this way, gas masks are worked on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Okay, next factor. Second factor, to produce high vacuum. Some chemical reaction carried out in vacuum. In order to achieve such a vacuum, adsorption phenomena is utilized. See here, this is a container, air is there. First this container is connected with the vacuum pump. This sucked out air. Therefore, most of the air is removed from the container. Even after this, some trace of air may be left behind in the container. Now, Even after this, traces of air may left behind in the container. This minute quantity of air can be removed by using adsorption phenomena. Here this is charcoal. Now this air, remaining air adsorbed over charcoal, inside of the container, high vacuum is produced. High vacuum is produced. High vacuum is produced. Therefore, charcoal adsorbs traces of air and produces high vacuum. High vacuum. So, now come to our third application. To control humidity. Here, silica gel is used as a dehumidizer. Silica gel adsorbs water vapor and controls humidity. First of all, what is humidity? It is moisture in atmosphere. It is water vapor in atmosphere. See, in a closed chambers, humidity can be controlled with the help of silica gel, which act as a adsorbent. The silica gel adsorbs water vapor and regulates the humidity in atmosphere or air. See, the silica gel is used while packing delicate objects. Silica gel crystals are placed along with those delicate objects. These delicate objects absorbs moisture and then protect those delicate objects. Otherwise, those delicate objects may spoil by the moisture. That's why usually while packing delicate objects, silica gel crystals are also placed along with those delicate objects. Usually we can observe in some packings these silica gel packets will be there. Over that, do not eat, like that mentioned. So in this way, silica gel regulates the humidity in the air or atmosphere. Okay. Next, come to our next application, that is to remove color from solutions. Some solutions are colored. For example, sugar solution, which is yellow in color. Even vegetable oils also colored. In order to remove color from those solutions, here we are using adsorption phenomena. Suppose if we take sugar solution, it is stirred with animal charcoal and left some time. Afterwards, that sugar solution free from color. Okay, here adsorption phenomena is involved. Animal charcoal adsorbs colored matter from solution. animal charcoal absorbs colored matter from solution, then solution turns to colorless. Okay. Fifth one, in curing diseases, in curing diseases, in curing diseases, some drugs absorbs germs on their surface and kills them in this way. Adsorption phenomena utilized in the curing of diseases. Some drugs absorbs germs on their surfaces, later kill them. Therefore, adsorption phenomena is utilized in order to cure diseases. Okay. Now, sixth one. Now come to our sixth application, that is to separate inert gases. You know, inert gases are separated from each other with the help of adsorption phenomena. Here, different noble gases adsorbs on coconut charcoal to different extents at different temperatures. See, when noble gas mixture passed over coconut charcoal, at a particular temperature, particular noble gas will adsorb, remaining or not. Based on this principle, we can separate noble gases from each other. Seventh one, froth flotation method. Froth flotation method. This used for the concentration of sulfide ores. Concentration means removal of gangue particles from ore particles. Here, sulfide ore is powdered, later it is mixed with water and pine oil and taken into a tank. Air is blown into that water, that mixture. See, froth bubbles are generated. Okay, see, this is stirred like this. Okay, here froth bubbles are generated. These generated froth bubbles rises up. While bubble rises up, this bubble, froth bubble, when it rises up, sulfide ore particles adsorbed. Sulfide ore sulfide ore particles adsorbed over froth bubble surface, and froth bubble rises up. It is separate. Froth bubbles are separated out, and break down those on breaking those bubbles, sulfide ore particles will get. In this way, sulfide ore particles are separated from gangue particles, whereas gangue particles are not adsorbed over froth bubble. Gangue particles remains in the this gangue. These particles remains in the tank itself. In this way, gangue is removed from the sulfide ore particle. This is froth flotation method. This will come under, we will discuss in detail under metallurgy. Okay, here sulfide ore adsorbed on froth bubble, whereas gangue particles are not at all adsorbed on froth bubble. Based on this difference, sulfide ores are concentrated. So, froth flotation method based on adsorption phenomena. Now, come to our next application, chromatography. Chromatography. It is a separation technique which is based on adsorption phenomena, especially when if we want separate components of a mixture, this when sample is very minute in quantity, this method is used. See here, different components of a mixture adsorbs to different extents. See, in a mixture, two or more components may be present. Different components will adsorb in different amounts over alumina gel surface. Usually in chromatography, adsorbent is alumina gel. Okay. Now, based on this difference, the components of a mixture get separated from each other. Therefore, here chromatography worked on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Ninth one, adsorption indicators. Adsorption indicator. Indicator means we know it is a substance which are used to detect endpoint during titration. So, these gives definite color at endpoint. Okay. Some indicators worked on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Such indicators are adsorption indicators. For example for this kind of indicators, silver halides. Some dyes like eosin, fluorescein, adsorbed on silver halide and produces characteristic color. See, when some dyes like eosin, fluorescein adsorbed on silver halide at end point at end point, at end point, at end point, at end point, and produces characteristic color. At end point, some dyes adsorbed over silver halide precipitate and develops characteristic color. Based on that color, we are able to detect end point. So here, silver halides worked on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Therefore, those are called as adsorption indicators. Okay, next, 10th one, heterogeneous catalysis. Heterogeneous catalysis. Here, C2H4 gas plus H2 gas, nickel solid, okay, C2H6 gas. Okay, this is nothing but hydrogenation of ethylene. When hydrogen is added to ethylene gas, ethane gas is formed. This is hydrogenation. This here nickel act as a catalyst. So here reactants are in gaseous phase, catalyst in solid phase. Reactant and catalyst are in different phases. Such catalysis is heterogeneous catalysis. Next topic, catalysis only. Next video will discuss about catalysis and different types. Now this is heterogeneous catalysis. This heterogeneous catalysis worked on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Let us come to C2H4 and H2. This is nickel surface. Here, when these ethylene and hydrogen gas are exposed to nickel surface adsorbs these gases. Afterwards, these comes close to each other and then able to react with each other. Chemical reaction takes place over nickel surface. Through chemical reaction, ethane is formed. So this is product. Afterwards, it is separated out from the dissolved. Here ethane dissolved from the nickel surface. In this way, chemical reactions are taking place over nickel surface. Here nickel provides a platform for chemical reaction. So this is the happening in heterogeneous catalysis. Here in the step 1, reactant gas are adsorbed over nickel. That's why heterogeneous catalysis works on the basis of adsorption phenomena. Okay, thank you.